Afternoon, everyone. We have Peter Harradine, well-known golf course architect, with us today. Peter's, I think, from a second-generation golf course architect firm. His father founded it way back, I think, 1929, and as a company, they've done hundreds of golf courses around Europe and more recently in the Middle East. And Peter's well known here in Qatar, of course, for designing the Doha Golf Club. So, welcome, Peter. And I think really the first question. First question for me is what it was like coming here in the 1990s with a blank canvas to design the first golf course here in Qatar.
Well, basically, the main reason they chose me for Doha was because I designed the Abu Dhabi National, and it was more or less at the same time. And they looked at the plans and things like that, and they said, okay, we'd like you to come to Doha. And they were actually going to give me the flat area below the rocks. There's the flat area between where the golf course is now and the sea, which of course there was nothing there at the time. Now it's completely different. And when I saw that, I said, look, I don't want another Abu Dhabi, because Abu Dhabi was a salt flat. And we had to raise the whole thing because it was much too low and the vegetation was going to die if we hadn't raised the whole site. And when I saw the rocks up there, I said, give me the rocks. And they said, yeah, but you'll never be able to grow any grass on that. I said, well, that's my problem. Just give me the rocks. And I was told actually the day afterwards, just put 4 pegs out there and tell us what you want. So that's what I did. And basically that's what they gave me as well. And I was very happy because, quite honestly, I think it's still the only real desert course in the Middle East.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And you mentioned that the client says you wouldn't be able to grow grass there, and then you said that's your problem. But the consideration for water must be great when you're designing golf courses in this part of the world. So what goes into that when you're putting together your initial concepts?
Well, of course, my first question is always, where does the water come from? Do you have enough water? I mean, I think I've done about 8 or 9 in the Middle East, and that's the first question I ask. And then secondly, is it well water? Because well water is usually very brackish. Is it sewage treated water, or is it domestic water? And at the time, we actually used the domestic water. It is now sewage treated effluent. But at the time, I told them how much water we needed, and they said, yeah, we've got it, and that was it.
Fantastic. And I think testimony, everyone that's played the course knows it's stood the test of time. It's still a long, challenging golf course by modern standards, and when Qatar Masters was played there, it presents a long challenge. So was that your idea when you were building the golf course to represent a challenge, not only for the club golfer, but also to make sure the tournament professional had a challenge as well?
Well, I think, quite honestly, there are too many championship courses around, and quite honestly, there aren't enough champions for the championship courses. So, but when it's the first course in a country, then I say, okay, well, I can understand you want a championship course here because you want to have tournaments. So yeah, I designed a so-called championship course for tournaments, but I also put a lot of forward tees for the normal player. I don't really know what a normal player is, but yeah, for let's say the punter, because those are our clients. I mean, quite honestly, our clients are the people who have 18 to 54 handicap, and definitely not the pros, because the pros are paid to play. And also most very good amateurs are paid to play. So at the end of the day, our clients are the people who go from 18 to 54 handicap, and we have to think of them.
Absolutely. And I think now, since the Doha Golf Club was built and opened in the mid-1990s, now the difference in distance between the pro and the average golfer is huge now. The average golfer is maybe picking up an extra 10, 15 yards of modern technology. These guys now, and Bryson DeChambeau is knocking some drives out there. Last couple of weeks ago at Muirfield Village, over 400 yards. So, how does that impact you when you're challenged by a client develop a championship course, but also something that's going to be enjoyable for the everyday golfer?
It's very difficult. Quite honestly, this is one of our main challenges. The pros now, as you said, hit it so long, and I don't really think it's golf anymore now. It's target golf, just bash it down the fairway. Not much thinking anymore. I like the link style because you have to think more than you do on these long courses, and they've lengthened a lot of good courses, which I don't think they should have done. I mean, St. Andrews was St. Andrews, and why lengthen it? What for? And if a guy gets on there in one shot on a par 4, why not? After all, it's show, and these guys are showing us, they're giving us a lot of show when they play, because what they do is absolutely incredible. But I don't think the courses should be changed, because really, as I said before, I mean, our clients are the people 18 to 54 handicap, and we must not forget that. And I think that a lot of these professional signatories, as I call them, don't really know what it's like for a normal player to play, because they have no clue. They're in a different world. And I think in every sport now, the top 20 or the top 30 or the top 50, whatever, are in a completely different world to the normal players. And it's very, very difficult to actually design a course which goes for both. It's very, very difficult, very difficult. Because if you make it too complicated, the so-called normal player, it's a nightmare for him. And if you make it too easy, the pro has it, comes in with sort of 25 under or 30 under, which, why not? As far as I'm concerned, why shouldn't he come in with 30 under? He's in a different category. Yeah, it's completely different.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah, it doesn't really make a difference what the professional score at the end of the day. It should be for the enjoyment of the amateur player. So when you lay out a golf course, or you look at a site of land, do you have an overarching philosophy? What do you like to see? What sort of things do you not like to see? Or is it always influenced by the piece of land that you're presented with?
Well, like Abu Dhabi, for example, I wasn't influenced there. I just played God, really, because it was completely flat. So whatever I did there was artificial. But in Doha, we had those great rocks, and I wanted to use those rocks as far as I could. I remember it was July when they left me there one day, and I said, just leave me here, no problem. I had about 4 or 5 liters of water, and that's all I needed. And I was walking up and down that site, and I thought, wow, this is great. This is absolutely fantastic, because we can actually create a desert course using those rocks. And in fact, the 18th was the night for the television, and of course the television, it's always the last holes that they concentrate on. It looks great with those rocks, and that's what I wanted. I really wanted to use those rocks.
And whose idea was it to put the cactus in? So I think you flew in some cactus from...
Yeah, that was my idea. Yeah.
Pretty cool. There's still some. I don't know how many you started with. There's still some there today.
We bribed a chieftain in America to get those cactuses in, because you're not allowed to export them anymore. It's like a national treasure. But yeah, I knew they'd survive there, because it's the same climate as Arizona, eh? Mm-hmm. Except that in Arizona it's a lot drier. That's the only difference.
And just on setting up the bunkers on the course and the greenside features, that seems to be certainly a modern trend of getting the greens a bit more undulation, a few more bunkers and such like. Is that again something that you like to see, or again is it just again site specific of what's needed depending on the terrain you've got to work with?
I'm not really a Gymkhana green guy. I think that subtle undulations are much more difficult to putt on, and if you have to play in that direction to go down to that direction, I don't really think that's a green, quite honestly. I don't have big undulating greens. Big greens, yes, but not necessarily very undulating. I don't think it's fair. I don't like them. And the greens depends on the site. You know, you have a small site, you have a small green. I mean, Jebel Ali is smaller greens. Though I have the opportunity, I have plenty of land, so I build big greens.
It makes sense.
And I like big greens. I like big greens because they're easier to maintain.
And of course, it's easier to hit in the wind as well. So in a country like ours, where the wind blows, you want to be going at a bit more of a generous target. So it's nice to see. So modern day, now you see you've got a lot of work on. I know that a lot of the architects around the world, certainly in America, have been doing renovations and updating courses. And I know you're going to be doing some work in Doha quite soon as well. So tell us a little bit about the work that's planned at Doha Golf Club.
You know, basically renovations are a big pain in the neck because you have 600 golf course architects, all the members here. But fortunately in Doha, I don't have to deal with the members. I actually just deal with the greenkeeper and Gary, and that's great because just dealing with two people on the renovation is a godsend. They want to change the grass. I don't think we'll be changing the shape of the greens too much, and also not the undulations. As I said before, I'm not really too keen on these exaggerated undulations. But I think they're doing, it's correct. They should change the grass. You know, when we actually built Doha, since we built Doha, there's some great strains of grass out there now, much better than before. You can actually seed them as well instead of using stolons. So changing the grass is, I think, is the right decision. You know, we actually build the greens up with dune sand. And it's not because of the dune sand that they're changing them. It's because mainly they want to change the grass, which is a good idea. I can tell you that the greens that we built in the Middle East are all on dune sand. We didn't bring any fancy silica sand from I don't know where. And they stood up to the test of time. We haven't actually rebuilt any greens up to now. I think Doha would be the first golf course that we're actually going to redo the greens. And I think it's because mainly because they want to change the grass.
No, it makes sense. Just with that, we talked a little bit about design strategy and such like, and your focus is making it enjoyable for the higher handicapper. But when you design a golf course as well, you get involved with the practice facilities and the short game areas and such like. So again, what's your overarching thoughts about laying those out when you put together a plan?
Well, don't forget this was designed quite a while ago, but I always concentrated on the driving range. I think the driving range is very, very important. And as you know, we have a big driving range there, a wide driving range with target greens and things like this. I think, quite honestly, the concept of Top Golf is very, very good. They're bringing young people to the game. We need young people to come to the game. I have three, well, they're not children anymore. And everybody was sort of teasing them because they played golf, but now they go at 5:30 in the morning and play golf with a bunch of other guys. Golf's a great game, and it should be a fun game. And I think the way golf is going is the right direction. We have to make it more pleasant, and we have to make it more fun for the young people. You know, it's in some places it's too stuffy still. I think it's and that's a shame. It's a big shame because young people don't like stuffy environments. And I think definitely driving ranges are very, very important. I think I've got a great big putting green up there as well. I think practice is very important, although the young people don't like to practice too much. They go straight on the course. In fact, that's what I used to do as well. You know, I didn't practice too much at all. But it's very important because, as I keep telling everybody who wants to start playing golf, I say, go to a PGA professional. Learn it the right way. Don't let your friend teach you the swing or anything like this, because if you start off making a mistake with your swing, you'll keep it all your life. So, you know, do it properly, and the proper way and the proper place to do it is on the driving range.
Absolutely. And again, you talked about adding the fun element into the game, and is that something you're now conscious of trying to encourage different demographics and different age groups to get into the sport when you're designing a new golf course?
I was always for the youth. I mean, I've always been for 9-hole. I mean, I've been saying this for 20 years. You know, we need 9-hole courses. We need shorter courses. You know, we need fun courses. I've been saying this for a long time. As far as I'm concerned, we need the youngsters. And if you look at the normal course, I don't know too much about the UK because I don't really work there. But on the continent, you know, in the clubs, a lot of the older players, the older members are not being replaced by the younger people, and it's a big, big problem. And we have to get them in there. It's a great game. It's the best game in the world. I call it a sport, actually. It's the best sport in the world. And, you know, 4 generations can play together, and the granddad can win because of the handicap system. It's fantastic. It's an absolutely fantastic game. And unfortunately, on the continent, we have a bit of a bad image because they think it's a bunch of old capitalists, whatever, playing golf, you know. And that's a shame. It's a big shame because the game doesn't deserve that at all. And I think the way the PGA is going with the music and everything, I think it's the right way to go, definitely. I wouldn't change the ball. I think, you know, let's all hit the same ball. Let's see, you know, who can hit it the furthest. I think that would be the wrong thing to do. I wouldn't even change the size of the hole either. Putting is so damn important in golf. And, you know, those things I wouldn't go for at all. But, you know, I see my sons and the way they play with their friends. They love it. They love it, and they love the game the way it is. It should be kept. Keep the ball the way it is. If it gets better, why not? And the clubs to get better, why not? Let's see what these great champions can do compared to us. Why not?
Yeah, makes sense. And I suppose certainly in this region, we've been lucky. It's a very cosmopolitan society. A lot of people are getting involved in the sport, and the sport continues to grow in this region. And that's great part to the different golf courses that have been designed by the likes of yourself. So very encouraging to see the growth. From there, it's again, you're talking about trying to get the youth into the game. We're still lagging a little bit behind about becoming gender neutral. There's significantly more males playing than females. Again, any consideration when you're designing a golf course to make the game more pleasurable for lady golfers?
I put them right at the front. I've always have done. I love ladies, and quite honestly, I've always put them way in front. Why not? And I used to play a lot with ladies as well. It was always very amusing, you know. But you know, but there are ladies now who can hit it pretty far as well. So finding the right balance is not easy. But I'm definitely lady friendly when I design golf courses. I had an architect who used to work for me quite a while ago, who's actually pretty well known now on his own. I mean, you know, and he said, "Oh, ladies shouldn't play golf anyway," you know. But I think, no, great. Let's have more ladies in there, but not only playing golf, but in the golf professional, in the maintenance profession, you know, in the greenkeepers. Let's have more lady greenkeepers. I go to these greenkeeper dues, you know, because we have this. My dad founded the European Society of Greenkeepers, and so I attend quite a lot. And you know, it's amazing how few women there are in that profession. Very, very few. I would say 2 to 100 or something like that, which is a shame. It's a big shame. It's a great profession as well, and there should be more ladies actually working in the maintenance of golf courses.
Yeah, I think that's certainly the intent across the board, that there's a huge opportunity to get more engagement with ladies, like you said, playing the game, but also working in the industry. Just back onto a little bit of on the topic of water and the conservation of water. Sustainability is the big buzzword around, and people are really looking for care in the environment. Again, in design, is there anything you feel you can do, or have you seen any advancements in technology that are ensuring that golf courses are using less water or caring for the environment a little bit better than happened maybe years gone by?
No, I mean, we mixed in Doha, actually, we mixed the sand with a water-saving agent, which is very effective. But, you know, I mean, grass needs water. You know, you get a lot of people saying, oh, you know, you can grow water. You can grow grass with sea water, which is absolute rubbish. It's impossible. You know, and there are grasses, there are strains of grasses that are salt tolerant, a lot more salt tolerant. And don't forget that if you keep on putting salt onto a soil or to a sand, it'll get saltier and saltier, and then you have to flush it. And if you flush it, you need a lot more sweet water, and you need a big drainage system. And it costs a lot more than just using the normal water or using sewage treated water. Grass absolutely loves sewage treated water, and I think that's the way to go. In Europe, they actually throw it into the sea, which seems very stupid, but no, sewage treated water is the way to go. Grass needs water, whether you like it or not. Good grass anyway. Grass that you can play golf on needs water, and that's it.
Very good. And just parting question, I think you said you designed about 7 or 8 golf courses in this region in particular, which is ones that our listeners or viewers would be familiar with. Can you identify maybe your top 3 holes that you've done that are stand out and you're most proud of?
I don't know. You know, quite honestly, the one in Doha where I have the big rock in the middle. You know, I was actually told at the time, "Oh, you're gonna take that rock away." I said, "No way, forget it." You know. I mean, that's one of my favorite holes because it just shows you that you can have par 4s that are drivable, but you can still have a double bogey on them if you play it wrong. You know, I think all these great big long holes, you know, you have to bang and bang and bang till you get there, especially if you're an amateur golfer. I think drivable par 4s are something that I like. You know, the one in Doha there has actually won a prize as one of the sort of most strategic holes. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely, I would say, in the Middle East, my favorite hole. As far as I'm concerned, I like par 3s. I concentrate on par 3s because it's more or less the only holes that you can actually see from the tee. You can see the whole hole, and you can actually try to get onto the or next to the pin. So yeah, I mean, I don't really, you know, it's very difficult for me to give you the best holes because then the golf courses say, well, what about the hole? Why didn't you mention that one and this or that, you know, on my course? You know, but definitely that one, you know, that's I can easily say that is definitely my favorite hole of the courses that I designed in the Middle East.
Yeah, it's very well recognised. When we travel at travel conventions and such like, tour operators will come in and they reference that one. They've seen it on television. They know it's a good birdie chance or even an eagle chance. So it's that risk reward element is very exciting. That's super. Thanks very much for your time today, Peter. And it's great that we're working alongside Doha Golf Club here at Education City, and we're trying to develop Qatar into a niche golf destination and 2 great golf courses, and we'll start to capture the imagination, and we'll get more and more people traveling to Qatar, but also our intent is to get more people enjoying the game as well. So great to hear your stories and great to hear your philosophies about making golf fun and making the golf course much more playable for the higher handicapper. I think they really appreciate that, and we look forward to seeing you next time you're up here doing some work. So thanks for that, Peter.
Definitely, I won't forget to come and see you. In fact, I wanted to come last time I was there, but I just didn't have time. I'm definitely looking forward to see you guys, and thank you very much for inviting me, and good luck and stay safe.
Thank you. Take care.